The spoiler reviews for Wheel of Time is back. I'm so happy we've returned, and Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan was truly excellent. So, yeah, I'll talk about it now. So, the consensus on Goodreads is this is just about a 4-star book. I don't know why, because this is like, I don't know if it was just the relief of something happening, but this is competing with Lord of Chaos for my favorite. And I don't know why, but this is usually like people say it's a 4-star, but this is a straight 5. And I don't know if this or Lord of Chaos is better, because this had action throughout the book. It was really, really perfectly paced. And I'm going to just start talking about it now. Okay, so get ready for my spoiler talks. My spoiler talks are kind of like go by character by character. And yeah, so the first character, so the first character I'm going to go by is Mr. Matt Coffin. And I really, really loved Matt's kind of story in this book. He has a great time. It's clear, like, he wasn't having the most, I didn't love his character the most of this book, but still to see like this battle, to see him with Chuan, and just how he acts, it makes me so happy. Like, he wasn't my favorite in this book, but certainly he really was a shining character, and I really had a lot of fun reading his chapters. So basically, he's with like Chuan, which is I think now his wife, and like, it's funny to see him married. It's like so weird. Like, it was like, and he was like saying how weird it was. But like at the end of the book, we kind of learned Matt is technically royal, which makes him barf, because like if you know Matt, it's not really Matt to do that, and it's hilarious because I don't know, just Tuon's so funny. One of the things I love about Tuon is like she's so superstitious. Like she's like, and then she thinks like Matt told her about being Taviran. And she thinks that's so weird, and that's like completely normal to me. Like, I've been with these Taviran people since the Taviran since book 1, and I just thought that was so funny because I'm so used to that lore. But then when I see her being superstitious, I don't see that to be that different technically, which is hilarious, and I just love that aspect of it. And I just kept laughing the whole time with Tuon and her maid, or like her assistant, which is there and just mad the whole time. That was funny. Like, Wheel of Time can be really funny, and I just love that scene. And towards the end of it, there's battles, and then Chuan kind of like goes away, and I liked that. I think that wasn't the coolest climax, but I did think it was super cool. And yeah, just like Chuan's hilarious. The next person I have to talk about is Perrin. Now, Perrin, he was like, I did not like his arc in the slug. And this has had the one criticism I do have for this book is there's a part where it was just kind of the same thing what was happening in the slug until the very end. So Fael gets taken at the end of Path of Daggers, if I'm correct. And then through Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight, he's just looking for her. That's all. Basically, he's in a camp. He's like looking for her. He's finding a way to look for her for 2 books. And for like 80% of this book, Fael wasn't found. Well, she does find her in this book, and I found that to be, it paid off because it was quite a long time, but I really don't think it was worth it. And like, it was so boring to just see his chapters where he doesn't find her. And I'm glad it's over. Like, I'm glad it's found, and she's found, but and I'm super excited for the Gathering Storm, and I'm just glad that happened. And like, just like something like that, I'm glad it's over. Like, I'm like, good riddance. But I love Perrin as a character. And that's why I hate it when my good characters are doing really boring stuff. I mentioned that, like, if they're doing boring stuff, what's the point? Like, that's my opinion. But I'm super, super happy that she's found, and I'm super excited to see what happens next in the Gathering Storm, because I feel like what happens next for Perrin, I'm not sure what's going to happen next, which always I love in a book. So I'm definitely pumped to see what Perrin is up to in the Gathering Storm, and I have no idea what it could be. Next person that I'm going to talk about is Egwene, and I thought Egwene's was also very funny in this book. It wasn't climax, it wasn't action packed at all, but I just found it hilarious. Whenever so basically she was like, I don't know, busted for being the fake Amaryllis seed, but she is real Amaryllis seed, and Elida is not real. We all know that. But whenever she was like busted, like it was so funny because she's a novice now, technically a novice, but she still acts like the Amerlin C. And she was just being like so naughty, like she was like being the bad girl. It was so funny because like she thought she knew she was still the Amerlin, and she was getting like what's it called, the switch, like 9 times a day, or like half of her day was there because like she would refuse to do something, and then she would just act up, and she would refuse to like curtsy just because she was Amerlin, and she would not be something a novice would do, and she didn't care. She learned to accept the pain, and that's basically what she did the whole book. She didn't get that many pages in this book, but the pages that she did have were pretty funny because you were back at the White Tower. I'm pretty sure that was the White Tower, yeah, most likely. And we're back there, and she's like, she does not want to listen, and I totally get it because she's still the Amerlin C. She doesn't need to listen, and I like that scene, but she did have to accept a lot of pain, which is not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's funny because that hurts, but like I thought it was like hilarious. I'm sorry, but it was just really, I really liked that part of the book, and I was like, it wasn't the most climax, but it was super enjoyable, and like there was like hints of stuff in this book, which was awesome. Next person I'm going to talk about is Elaine Tricond, and I think I would say that she has basically the main, because she had the best climax of this book. Whenever she gets kind of taken, and at the start of this book, like you can tell, like she's changing because like she's pregnant now, and like Avienda kind of leaves. Avienda left at this book, and I love Avienda. She's like one of my favorite characters, but she's gone, and I have like no idea. Like I don't know where she is. Like I don't know. It was vague, but like I want to like see. I'm gonna get her chapters in the Gathering Storm, and hopefully she's in the Gathering Storm. Elaine kind of like. It's funny because she's kind of like has mood swings, but she's also bonded to Brigitta and Rand, and like it's just like she's having the funniest time, and she kind of gets kidnapped by a couple black sisters, and then they have a kind of cool thing to get her back, and I thought that was really fun, and I just love that scene. That was one of my favorite parts of the book. She is now Queen of Andor. She used to be daughter heir of Andor, but now she's got more than 10 houses in this book. She kind of got the more than 10 houses she needed, and she's now the official queen, which is awesome. I didn't get to see her do much queen stuff in this book because it was at the very end. But in the next book, I will get to see the queen action, hopefully, because she's been working on that for a long time now. And now that this happened, she's got the 10 houses she needs, actually 11 houses. And I was looking at that point, and I'm like, this line never had climax. And I love the climax of this book, or just not even. A lot of times Wheel of Time would have super thick, cool thing at the end and like kind of interesting concept at the start, and then but like this book was along the way there was really interesting stuff that happened, and I'll mention that. And yeah, I really love that part of it. And the next person next POV that I'm gonna be talking about is Mr. Loyal. Like, I'm Loyal barely had any chapters. Or, I don't think he wasn't even a main character, but I just really want to talk about what happened. And it was so funny, because, like, I just love Loyal whenever he's basically just running away from his real life. He's basically on the run from his mom. And, like, I don't know, it's the funniest part of this book. I keep saying this book's so funny, but a lot of parts is not funny, but, like, I've been reading Robert Jordan for 11 books, and I just find everything. I could tell what he's writing and how he meant it to be funny. And he's running from his mom and the person he's betrothed to, because he just wants to write a book. And, like, I mean, that's what I would do. Because, like, it's just, like, it's so funny, because he hates it, like, whenever he's, like, hears about his mom is near. And they're just chasing him down. And, like, this time he actually does get married, and, like, he was, like, gonna be a good leader. Like, he was talking about it, and, like, but then Trollocs come, like, a bunch of them. And I haven't seen a good old Trollocs attack in a long time, and I was so happy to see just all of this happen, and Rand was there, and it just, like, the attack, and I just love how Loyal handles it. Just, like, Loyal is so funny. Like, if you know what I mean, like, Loyal is the coolest character. He's an Ogier, which is massive. And, like, he tells you how big it is, like, how big things, or how small things look in his hand. And I just laugh so hard because it's Loyal, and he's just, like, he's a big, clumsy oaf. And I just, I love him, and so does Rand. And then one of the highlights of Crossroads of Twilight and was when Loyal was there, and I'm just glad he got to do something, and I'm super, super excited to hear what comes next for Loyal, and that's just one of my favorite characters. My favorite characters is a long list, and I want to do like a top 20. I want to finish the series, like the top 20 real-time characters, because there's a lot of great characters, and I didn't expect to bond with the characters this much, other than just like the main three. But recently in these books, kind of it gets becoming more to like I'm learning to more like a lot of side characters and just love them. Like Oliver is a character I really, really love. Like Oliver kind of she kind of grows. He grows a lot, and he's a young boy still, and like Matt is trying to like protect him, but also like bringing him along, because I love it when they found him. And now he's just coming along when they accept that he's part of the party now. He's hanging out with Matt. He wasn't as prominent as this book as he was in the past couple books, but I still just love his chapters, and just like I just love to see like he's gonna become a great leader one day, and like I'm glad to see that. And I hope he gets some payoff in the last 3 books. Now, I need to talk about Rand. I mean, it's insane what happened to Rand. Ooh. Let me check my notes here, but like Rand. That what happened to Rand made me very sad. Also by making me very happy because of the action scenes in this book. If you didn't know, please leave, because this will ruin real time for you. This spoiler. I mean, you could have survived the spoilers before, but I wouldn't recommend it. But at this point, we'll literally ruin the wheel of time for you. Please leave. Like, I am asking you politely. And what happens to Rand is basically like he cuts off, or he doesn't cut off, he loses his left hand. And it's funny how driven Rand is. Like, I don't think it really bothered him, because he just really just wants to get to Tarmangaiden. And like, how do you lose your left hand? And like, he had some pain, but he got healed. Like, it's still no hand. And like, that's just a big part in the series. Like, I don't know if he can like still fight with the use of like the one power with the no hands, but I don't know. I just like, I feel so bad because he loses it to Semarog, and everyone was kind of with him. Like, I was like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I had to like read that scene like 4 times just to understand. Like, wait, okay, no hand Rand. So I'm calling him No Hand Rand now, so I can remember that he lost his hand. And this is like, I was shocked. Like, honestly, I did not believe that would happen, and I don't think that should be like. I feel like so bad, but also he's really just driven. Like, what he wants to do is go to the last battle, and like he's bonded to Elaine, Avienda, and Min. And it's funny because like they can all kind of sense it. Like, they were like, but like they're farther away, or like Avienda and Elaine are farther away, and it's like I love how like the 3 of them, like Elaine, Avienda, and Min, they all kind of get along, but they just like accept it, which is hilarious. And I don't know why I think Robert Jordan's writing is hilarious right now, but I find so many things funny in his writing style, but also so serious when he wants to be. And his descriptive nature doesn't bother me. I noticed it. And I noticed one thing he does, he kind of compares. Oh, like he said like something really important. That's, I don't know, like the last battle's tomorrow, just for example. That never really happened, but like someone says, oh yeah, the last battle's tomorrow. And then Robert Jordan will compare, like, oh yeah, he said that like he was like saying the price of milk. Or like he'll compare something very important, someone saying like, and he said, oh yeah, he's saying it like super nonchalant. Like, that's what I noticed in this book. But this book was super interesting and intriguing. I loved just how it happened. And the Rand part, Rand shocked me. I just like did not understand for the first 5 minutes, and then I was like, wait. Rand doesn't have a hand. And especially when Matt had this like flashback, or not flashback, but like he started like looking at Rand. I don't know how they're connected, but they're connected. So whenever he like looks at Rand, and like he sees, I was like, oh, Rand doesn't have a hand now, and like that's just so weird to me. And I'm very sad also at the same time. I finished my kind of like, I still have more to say, but I'm just going to start talking about Robert Jordan. Like, this is his last book. I am freaked out. There's no more Robert Jordan Wheel of Times for me, and I am super excited to read the Brandon Sanderson books, but Robert Jordan has really changed my life. He's one of my favorite authors right now, and I don't know what to say. I'm finished. I didn't really realize until I'm done. I finished Knife of Dreams. I'm like, there's no more Robert Jordan Real Times for me. I finished, and I should have savored the moment a lot more than I did. But I'm super happy, like, that happened, and one of my favorite authors is finishing it. But, like, Robert Jordan, like, I don't know if I want to do, like, what's it called? Just, like, I don't know, like, saying how much he meant to me, but it's been a couple of years, but I feel like he's one of the best authors. His writing style, a lot of people hate it. I've never been bothered by it. Like, I like his descriptive nature. We know everything. I know how people look, basically. This time, even the trailer came out, I have them in my head. And they look like that. Like, especially, like Tom Maryland. Like, I just love the character, and I know exactly what he looks like in my head. And I don't know when he's going to be revealed in the show, but that is the character. Like, I don't care what he looks like in the show. He's looking how I pictured him in my head. And Julian Sandar, just, like, some of the best side characters. It's funny because I'm like, okay, this is so many characters. Like, I don't know if I can keep track of them, but, like, when I look about how many characters I keep track of in my head, it's a lot. Like, I'm like, how do I, like, know? Because, like, I love each of these characters. And, again, with Aes Sedai, when I'm thrown into the White Tower with a random Aes Sedai, which happens quite a lot, I'm very bored. And, like, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Get to the chase. And if it's a new Aes Sedai, like, we've never met before, I'm like, I hardly ever care or remember. But I really just like, in general, just, like, the politics that's going on in the White Tower. That's just so interesting to me. Like, the White Tower has so many, like, nuances, and, like, there's, like, it's split right now, technically. And I don't like Elida, just like everyone, but I can tell she doesn't, like, she's kind of, like, tortured. And it's just, like, it's so dense, the series, and I feel like he has so much room to work. I love how long it is. He has so much room to get into all the nooks and crannies, and I feel like it wouldn't be as detailed or as beautiful as it is if it was 5 or 6 books. And I'm just that's why I get it why it's so long now. I get it. He just wants to get into everything and all the world building. And whenever he talks about world building, a lot of times it can be boring. Especially in this log, he tries to build the world a lot. And it really wasn't interesting. It was a good book, but he didn't have enough to interest you. And this was action throughout the book, especially when Trollocs attacked. And the ending, insane. And then especially in that part, in the, like, last 3 quarters when he loses the hand, there was entry point interesting throughout the book. And it was so weird how I glided through it. I'm like, wait, should I be 500 pages into this book? It feels like I just started. And, like, literally, I would lose myself reading this book because it was so interesting. And what Crossroads of Twilight lacked is the interest part. And this had it, and I loved it. I don't know why people say, oh yeah, 4 stars, the first 200 pages. I skipped the prologue, but I'm sorry about that. But it's the worst part. How do you have a 100-page prologue and they're all boring? Like, I stopped reading the prologue at like book 6. I was like, okay, I'm done with the prologues. This is like 200 pages of nonsense for me. And I'll read 10 pages of it. I'll read about 30, 40 pages of it. And then I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. What's the prologue? And then I'm going to skip to chapter 1. I'm sorry, you can roast me, but and then I think that really helped me enjoy a lot more, because then I had to do the first 100 pages. I get it. They were pretty boring. But other than that, that was my fave. This is up there, like, because it's so interesting and also so deep and depthful. And you can see Charming Gaiden is coming very, very close. It's like every book, it subtly gets closer, and you can tell, okay, they're going to have to deal with this pretty soon. And it gets super, super close. And I'm like, this is the first book. I'm like, okay, this is going to be pretty soon, because if I believe, so this was supposed to be like the next to last, and then Brandon Sanderson split it into 3, but I'm pretty sure, like, you can tell this was getting closer. And that was so exciting for me, because they can see, oh yeah, it's kind of like getting closer and how subtly he makes it, because first book, barely relevant, and then, like, you can see, okay, they're gonna have to fight this last battle. And it's coming as a reality to me, because we are a mere, like, 3 books away for Amazing Charming Gaiden. And Oh, I'm so excited and nervous for something as epic as that. And Robert Jordan's an amazing author. I'm very sorry for his passing, even though it happened like 2007. That was forever ago. But I'm just realizing it now because I just finished his books, and I'm like, it means a lot. He meant a lot to me, and I'm still gonna be rereading this until I'm an adult. I'm an old person, and I'm so happy Brandon Sanderson is going to be finishing the series, and I hear great things about Brandon Sanderson's books, but I don't know why people don't like it. I need to watch some other reviews. I just wanted to keep my fresh review out here. So I'm gonna watch my reviews, hear why it's a 4-star, like hear why people think it's a 4-star. But I'm still standing by it is up here with Lord of Chaos and Fires of Heaven as my favorite Wheel of Time books, and I'm so happy because I'm just glad he got a proper send off. Because if Crossroads of Twilight was his last book, I wouldn't be mad, but I would be disappointed. And because Crossroads of Twilight was pretty cheeks, and I'm happy that Life of Dreams was a great, great, great book. And I don't know, I really just want to. I don't know if I want to finish the series whenever the show comes out, or like before the show comes out. I know it comes out in November, and I'll be reading Towers at Midnight, and I'll probably be finished. I'll be finished with the Wheel of Time before the last episode comes out. So, and I don't even know if I should comment. If nobody's watching, but comment in the comment section if you want me to do Wheel of Time episode by episode, or just the whole season, or just a short for every episode like I'm doing for What If. And that's just like, I think I kind of want to do a whole breakdown, or like a book versus. I think I'll do a review for each show, and then each episode, and I'll do a book versus show, and I'll compare the Wheel of Time to the Wheel of Time TV show. And that's what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm super, 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 super excited for Gathering Storm, if you haven't noticed yet. And I'm redoing sci-fi September, so I kind of felt like I rushed this, which was a mistake. And I really just want to reread Eye of the World right now. Like, I don't know why, but I just have this urge to reread Eye of the World before the show comes out. But I don't know if I will. Maybe. I'll think about it. But I'm definitely going to be continuing with The Gathering Storm. And I feel like if I reread Eye of the World now, I know what I'm doing more, because I know what the series is. I know how it becomes. And I feel like I can appreciate it more. And I know what Robert Jordan was trying to go for in Eye of the World. Back then, I was super naive. And if you watch my Eye of the World review, I didn't go in depth at all. I just feel like there's so many characters that kind of threw over my head for a little bit, and then once I caught up and I realized, okay, this is happening, which I feel like for me was about book 2. Like about book 2, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, and I love this. And then at book 4, I started realizing how big this world was and how nuanced it was. And I love book 4 so much. I kind of really want to read that one too, but I don't know. This video is too long. My spoiler talks get out of hand sometimes, and I really just want to keep it to under 20 minutes, but sometimes that never happens. And if you're here, I'm very impressed. I know I got a lot of subscribers from the Wheel of Time trailer. I went crazy on my channel for some reason. But I'm so happy that Knife of Dreams happened, and Knife of Dreams, amazing. And I'm super pumped for Gathering Storm, and get ready for a lot of Wheel of Time content, because the show is coming out very soon, which makes me so excited. And yep, I'm so glad that you guys are here, and see you guys in the next video, which I'm filming this before the Shang-Chi review, but I don't know which one comes out first, but see you.